Today we'll crochet this hat. I'm using 100% acrylic yarn, and the label recommends to use 5.5 crochet hook for that. It is a 4-weight medium yarn, and let's get started. I'm also using 4.5 millimeter crochet hook and the 5.5 the way it was recommended on the label. And now you'll see why I'm using a smaller one as well. Alright, so let's start with it. First, we'll do the band of the hat, and that's the reason I'm using a smaller crochet hook for that. But with the 5.5, I will do the first 10 chains. Alright, so we do a slip knot and then chain 10. Alright, so now I'll switch to my smaller hook. So from here we already have chain 10, so we'll have 10 stitches to work with, and I'll chain 1, which we will not count as a stitch. So into the second chain from the hook we'll do single crochets all the way till the end. And then we'll be ready to go. Or of course you can make that band for your hat as wide as you want. So you can measure on your forehead and you can decide any length. It could be shorter, it could be longer. It's really up to you. Okay, so now we turn, we chain 1, and then into that first stitch, into the base of this stitch, we'll do single crochet, and then we'll keep working into the back loop only. So we will work single crochets into the back loops of all these stitches. So when you count them, you should have 10 loops, back loops here. And don't forget that last one, because it's just hidden into that turn. So you will be able to see the last stitch here. It's here, right here on top, and we'll go into the back loop of it. All right, we are ready with this row. We turn, chain 1, and into the base of that first stitch we'll go into it. And then we'll keep going and working into the back loops of all these stitches. And that's how it creates those ridges that look like a ribbing for our band. All right, and I'll meet you when I'm done with the length. All right, so here I am back, and that's good enough for me. And when stretched, it gets a little bit longer. So make sure you measure it. So let's connect those sides together. And that's the reason using a smaller hook here. We want it a little bit tighter. Those stitches to be a little bit tighter. Since we have so much stretch, we can go with a smaller hook here. We will use those back loops to connect to the other side. So make sure you end up with, when you connect your front, when you connect your beginning till the end, make sure they end up on opposite sides. So when you connect them like this was the right side of the stitch, and this is the back side of those stitches. So when you connect them, they will still follow that pattern, and we'll try to make it in as much as invisible as we can. So the second loop, the back loop here, it's actually the top loop that I'll be able to see. So I will grab one side from here and one side from the front here, from that loop, the top loop, and the loop from the other side, and I'll just do slip stitches. Then I'll pick the next top loop, or this is the back loop for the other side, and then one loop from the other side as well. Okay, one loop from my side and one loop from the other side. Then I'll do slip stitches here. And we keep going with all these loops till the end. Don't make it too tight because we still want them to match the sides without bunching up. So we are done with connecting both ends of the band. Now that the band is ready, we'll do a foundation row of just single crochets all around the brim of the hat. So in every space between the ridges, I will put 2 double crochets, and in the raised ridge over here, I'll put 1 single crochet. So I'll start here with a single crochet, and then I'll put a single crochet into that first ridge here, that raised ridge. Oh, and I switched to my 5.5 crochet hook now, recommended by my yarn label. And here is the first one, and then comes the space between the ridges. I'll put there 2 single crochets. So here's my first one, and then here I also will try to grab 2 strands. Let me get a smaller crochet hook here. So this is the strand I want to pick. So there it is. And so I put 2 single crochets between those raised ridges, ribs, if you want to call them, and then into the rib itself, or the ridge. I'll grab my 2 strands here, and I'll go all around. So again, I'm in the space between the ridges, so I'll grab 2 strands from here so I don't have a gap, and I will do a single crochet, and then over here as well. Do a single crochet, then I'll go on the top of the ridge, do a single crochet. I'll go around and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning here, and now I just wanted to show you how I will close my row. So remember, I put 1 single crochet before I started putting the single crochets, and that was one that was between the 2 ridges here, and this is my place where I connected both ends. So I'm just gonna work on in that gap, and I'll try not to have a hole too big there, so it does not look very disconnected. All right, so I was able to grab 2 strands of yarn in it, and then over here in that first stitch I made, I'll grab that one, I'll go under it, I'll pull through my loop through the stitch that was sitting on my hook. So there it is. I'm ready now to switch to the next color. All right, since I'll be alternating white and blue colors for my red, white, and blue hat, I will set up my first row with white. and then I'll alternate the colors. All right, so here it is, last stitch. I'll chain one more time so it's very secure. Grab my scissors here, and I'm done with this. So there it is. Here is my white color. I will use the red color again for a pom-pom. So that will be it for the white color right now. For the red color, I mean. Alright, so I'll make slip knot again. So here it is. Wrap it around my finger and put one end halfway through that loop. And there you have it. Tighten it around your hook. Alright, so there it is. I'll start with any stitch I want, but I picked the stitch that's on top of my ridges. So in order to stay consistent, I will use the ridges as my guide. And because those ridges were every third stitch, because we put 2 stitches between the ridges, so I will skip 2 stitches and then I'll go into the next ridge. All right, or you can just use the ridges as your guide. All right, so I'll slip stitch through this loop I have on my new yarn starting with, and I'll do so chain 2 and do one more chain, which will be for the space between the double crochets, and we'll do another double crochet here, and then we move to the next ridge space, or we skip 2. All right, so yarn over and we do another V-stitch here, double crochet, 1 single crochet, and 1 more double crochet here. And this is our pattern, and that's how we'll go till the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. All right, so here I'm at the last V-stitch, double crochet, chain, double crochet, and I'm ready to connect to the beginning of my row. I'm going into that second chain from the bottom up. I'm going into that stitch, yarn through, pull through that stitch, and pull through to that stitch that was waiting on your hook. Chain 1, pull your loop, make it longer, cut your yarn, tighten your end here, and then this one will weave in later. All right, so this is the first row, and I have 2 blue colors here, and I have a hard time deciding which one will look better, darker blue or a tiny bit a lighter blue. I still cannot decide, so I'll probably go with the lighter blue, and yeah, I'll go with that one. If not, I'll make a new hat. So let me know in the comments if I made a good choice there. And so there you go. You can have a choice of colors if you want to. All right, so the next row will be exactly the same. We'll just switch our color, and we'll start again with a slip knot with our new color. And we'll go into the V-stitch. And again, I'll pick one that's after it so I can carry the strand behind it and hide the end, or at least I don't stack too many beginning chains on top of each other. All right, so I'll start into the V-stitch. So I'm picking a V-stitch and I'll slip stitch my first loop there, and I'll chain 3. Because 2 of the chain I count as a double crochet and 1 chain as the space between the double crochets, and then double crochet into the same stitch. And here is my next V-stitch. Then I'm moving to the next V-stitch here and yarn over, make the first double crochet, chain, in the second double crochet. And that's how the pattern goes, a V-stitch into each V-stitch. And I will go this for about 7 inches. My hat will be about 9 inches tall or long, and 7 of those inches will be without any decreases, and then on top I'll start decreasing my hat a little bit, only if you want to. If you want it to be more full and fluffy, you don't have to decrease, but if we want, we're gonna start at that point. All right, so just keep going, alternating those colors to make stripes, or you can design your own stripes. Maybe you can have like 2 white ones, 1 blue, or vice versa. I'll alternate 1 blue, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 white, till I reach about 7 inches, and I'll see you there. All right, so here I am. I'm almost 7.5 inches here from the brim of my hat, and I'm ready to decrease now, and in 2 more inches I'll be done with the hat, and that's for about a medium size hat, for adult medium or on a smaller side. All right, so my next color is blue, and make a slip knot here. So in this row we will be just doing 2 double crochets in each V-stitch without doing the extra chain between the double crochets. And all right, so we get our slip knot here, tighten our stitch, and then chain 2. So this will be our first double crochet in that V-stitch, and I will put a second double crochet, and that's it. So we'll go into the next V-stitch and do 2 double crochets, no space between them, just like that. And one more time, 1 double crochet, 1 more double crochet, and we'll go around, and I'll meet you right here. All right, so here is my last double crochet, and I'm going into that top chain, slip stitch through it, and slip stitch through the loop on my hook, and there it is. You can see now here how the tube is curving inwards, and we are getting smaller at the top. All right, so here we'll cut this yarn off. Then I didn't do the last chain, so I'll just get the tail through the loop, and that's kind of the last chain here. And I'm getting my next color again, the white color, and now in between each double crochet here we'll do 1 double crochet only. So I'm doing a slip knot again, going through that middle between those double crochets that were in the middle of the V, do a slip stitch, tighten my slip knot, and then chain 2, and then we'll go into the next set of double crochets, and in between them we'll do a 1 double crochet, and this is decreasing one more time. We decreased 1 stitches from the previous row, now we'll be decreasing those, and then into the next one, 1 double crochet, and then into the next one, 1 double crochet, and I'll meet you at the end. Back at the beginning again. So from that chain that we started with, I'll go on the top, stitch, pull through there, and then slip stitch through my loop, and then chain 2, and I'll go 1 more time with the white color. I'll add the top stitches. So I will just go on top of those, not in between, so because I don't want any more space in there. So I'll go actually in the stitch. All right, and here's just one double crochet in each stitch. And that's how this row is gonna go, and I'll meet you again there. And I just did the last double crochet here. I'll go at the top of that first chain I had, pull the loop through your loop on your hook, chain one, and keep that extra tail longer so we can gather our hat. And we are done with it. Since we're gonna be putting a pom-pom, I wanted to put an extra white color so the next white color can still peek through, so it doesn't end on the blue color. All right, so I'll get my tapestry needles here and I'll gather my hat. So here, so now go in and out the stitches here on top so we can gather them much faster. Make sure you don't split the yarn when you do that. And we'll be almost there. All right, so I gathered the whole stitches here. I'll go in the inside now so I can make a knot. Pull through and tie it really well and make sure this hole does not open. Go a few times in and out and across. So there. And make a knot. And now we're gonna attach the pom-pom and we are all done. Oh, we need to weave in the ends, those that I didn't weave in. So we are putting the pom-pom. Make sure you have 4 legs, and in the description below there'll be videos of how to make pom-poms with 2 different pom-pom makers. And of course, if you don't have a pom-pom maker, you can use a paper, and I also have a tutorial on that, how to make a pom-pom with just the things that you have at home. Right. Now you're all set. We'll trim those ends, and here it is. If you want to make your pom-pom fluffier and you have a brush for pet fur, you can fluff your pom-pom like that. And it looks much fuller when you get those bristles. They are curved, so they split the ends of the yarn very well, and it becomes quite fluffy. All right, so here is your hat, perfect for the holidays. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.